go.
There I am. What's up, everybody? Welcome to AdLabs Live, the webinar series where you get better performance with your Amazon PPC using AdLabs. Today, we're going to be digging into one of the key core features within AdLabs that is really going to help expedite the speed at which you're able to do client reporting, analyze your data, and drill into all of the different aspects within your Amazon PPC account. So within AdLabs, we have custom dashboards, which allow you to completely build whatever kind of view you want using your own Amazon ads and total sales data, combine it, ship it out to clients using a link or a PDF. And today we're going to be walking you through all the different components of setting that up. So Stephen and I did a podcast episode. I think it was episode number 120, where we showed the dashboard, showed how we were doing client reporting. And in that episode, I shared one of the dashboards that I use with one of my own clients and just all the different tabs and everything that were in it. People seemed to like it. And so they asked me to put together a template. Took a little while, but today we're going to be releasing that template out into the wild so you can start using it. And we're going to walk you through some of the setup process. There's some things we got to do on the back end to make sure it works for everybody. So we're going to walk you through how to just quickly go through and configure this new dashboard so you can plug your account right in and get all these really cool views. And I'm joined today by none other than Carly. Carly, how you doing today? Anything to add?
Hey, yeah, excited to be here. No, I'm really excited to walk people through the dashboards. I think that the templates that we have in the tool are already super powerful, but being able to really get in there and customize and configure everything the way that you want to, specifically for your clients, is huge. And so I think this is going to be super valuable, and I'm excited to jump in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm not going to waste too much time going through any formalities or anything. We can just jump right into it. I'll get the screen share pulled up. Never done it on here before, so just give me a second. And yeah, we'll get rolling into it. So this kind of came in down to the wire. I just had the devs add this. So this is going to be in the developer platform. So it's still kind of getting pushed to production. But by the time this episode's over, this should be in AdLabs. You should be able to plug it in and use it. You can reference this video, come back. It is going to be recorded. So if you need to walk back through it, you can. But it should be pretty straightforward.
Also, if you have any questions while we're going through this, put them in the chat. We will have a Q&A at the end. And so we'll go over all of your questions, or as many as we can, as many as we have time for. So please put them in the chat. We'll get to those all at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of stuff within AdLabs, like as far as the chart configurations and things like that, that are a little tricky sometimes to get the exact view that you want. So I'm going to show you a couple of those things that I've seen people asking about, like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? They just didn't recognize that you could do it. So I'll show you how you can kind of set some things up. But let's jump into it. So within the custom dashboards, you're going to come up here to create a new dashboard. You're going to pick the profile. Right now, this one's just available for sellers. So you have to pick a Seller Central account in order for it to work. I'll duplicate it for vendor with vendor specific metrics after this. But you're going to want to select the seller. And just to caveat, this whole demo of this fake account, this is a dead account. They basically were a VC Seller Central hybrid. Amazon caught onto it and basically shut their Seller Central down. So it's just been bleeding. They weren't allowed to list any new products. And so it's just dying. So don't look at the data on this. But you're just going to create that. You can come up here. You can title it whatever you want. I called it the Performance 360 because that's what people in the Discord said to call it. And also, it shows a really nice full circle view of all of your account and performance data. So within this, you can see we've got these different sections where you can kind of roll up different sections into different view, or to kind of nest them a little bit. So you can stay kind of organized with things. If you have a bunch of tabs or you're building a really big, robust report, just kind of helps for having some organization there. You can move all these tabs around, but each of these individual tabs is just its own page. So everything within this page is just going to be configured on its own, and you can flip through each individual page. And the way this really is super useful is client reporting. Whenever you're having a monthly call with clients, just having something really nice to screen share, be able to flip through, show actual data points, add notes, all this type of stuff, change date ranges, and also be able to share it with them. One of the biggest things is the clients, they have questions about their data throughout the month. And if you have a resource for them that they can just check in on anytime and answer their own questions, it's going to free you up to continue to work on strategy, making sure you're executing on everything, and ultimately just help your workflows. So one of the biggest features of this whole dashboard thing is being able to share it out to your clients. So if you come up here, you can hit the share button. And for any of your reports, you're going to be able to generate a link. You can see here, generate that link, and then you can link that out. And this is just going to be a live link for all of your clients. And I opened it, but I think I'm just sharing this one window, so you won't be able to see it. But yeah, it makes it its own link. You can always refresh that link, but you can just copy that, send it to the client, and then the client is going to have their own view of this dashboard. And then they can come in, they can change date ranges and refresh the data for that particular period that they want to look at. And all the charts are going to update in accordance to the changes that are made. You can also come in here. You'll notice in the share settings, we have these white label sharing settings. So if you click into that, you can actually go in and you can change your domain to be your own domain. So if you're shipping stuff out to the client, you want to like truly white label this report, you can make it look like it's coming from your domain. So it would just say like dashboard.youragency.com. That's all they would see. They wouldn't see anything relating to AdLabs. And you can add your own logo icon for the tab, and then all the colors. So you can really customize it to make it your own. But anyway, just wanted to share some of that. And I was sharing screen and I realized that it didn't work. So here, let me go back here. I think it's in the advanced, dashboard settings. So if you go in here, you'll see these dashboard settings. You've got your own section for your own domain, your logo, all that type of stuff, colors. So really customizable. You can really do whatever you want with it. But we'll jump back here and start going through the report. So for this, I had to set it up with some kind of generic settings for a lot of the charts. Ideally, you go through this and you start to configure this to make it suitable for your specific setup, the tags you use, the categorizations of your products, like how you kind of analyze your stuff. And we'll show you how to kind of set that up. So within each of these different tabs, you've got some setup instructions, a little bit about the purpose of what this report is for, and then just a couple configuration options for you to kind of tweak the settings and change the way things look. So on a lot of these, the date range overrides that are necessary for some of these are already set for you, so you don't have to really worry about those. But you may want to go in and kind of configure some of the views to be a little different. So like perhaps maybe this chart right here is ad spend, total sales, total ACoS on one chart on a quarterly level. So we have this kind of rolled up into a quarterly view. You could come into the configuration settings. You could go to the time display options. And then if you wanted that to be like a weekly, monthly, daily chart, you could quickly just toggle that on and it's going to update the chart. So whenever you see something about changing time dimensions or anything like that, that's all it's meaning. If you don't like the monthly view, you want it more granular, you want weekly, you want daily, like that's all I mean, is just being able to kind of divide up how you have it laid out. We've got some different tables down here. I oriented these a little bit differently. So you can either have it go left to right or up and down. So we've got all of our metrics here in the columns, and you can see the monthly performance. I just like that visual. As I'm kind of scrolling through, I can just see the trends and everything. But if you wanted to change that, you can come in here to the sorting and arrangement section, and you can change the dates to columns. So it'll reformat that to where everything's showing from left to right, and then you can see all those different metrics there. So depending on your preference, you can pick and choose what you want to do there. Keep it going. So next, we have the year-to-date, year-over-year total performance. This is going to give you just a full, so far this year, year-over-year, what's performance looking like, and all of the tables and charts are everything are configured with this tab level filter. So tab level filters are super powerful whenever you have like a really nice view in one dashboard and you want to kind of replicate it and reformulate what's actually showing in it. So for example, this tab, you can come in here into the tab level filters, and we have the date range overridden. So basically what that's going to do is it's just going to have everything in the dashboard be fixed to whatever date range that you have set. This is rolling, so it's constantly adding. There's no you don't have to come in and change it every single time or anything like that. You could set it up that way if you want it to be a specific custom date range or whatever. You just have to update it, but you can set it to be kind of a rolling calendar day thing where it's going to continually pull in the year-to-date data, and you can see our comparison period to last year. So that's just going to override anything that's already set up here. So anything that's overridden has a date range override. It's going to just not respect what's being done up here in the actual calendar selector. So other things you can do with the tab level filters is, let's say you really like this year-to-date, year-over-year total performance view. Like, really like this, like really breaks it down nicely, but I actually just want to replicate it for like a specific product. So one thing you could do is just duplicate the actual dashboard. And this may not be the best example ever, but come back in here, and then you could come into your product level entities. You could search and filter for a specific ASIN. I use tags a lot. So any tags that you're using throughout AdLabs on your products, campaigns, targets, anything like that is all going to be available for you within the dashboards to filter based on, to group based on. All of those parameters that you have set are applicable here. So perhaps you just want to filter for a specific tag or a specific product and see how that is trending year over year. You could do that just by adding the tab level filter, and that allows you to kind of replicate views and kind of make it more granular and look at a specific product if you want to. I'll just delete that.
Another really cool thing that I think is kind of hidden is that you can actually send these individual widgets to other tabs if you want to. So if you're ever in here and creating something, you don't want to just create, a whole new tab. You just want that one widget. You can actually send those widgets to other tabs. So that's kind of cool. It's a little bit hidden.
Yeah, good call out. Yeah, so if let's just say you really like this pie chart or something, you could just duplicate it and it's going to populate down here. You just, if you want to keep the settings all the same, you just hit apply, but then you could move it to a new tab. So if you want to just move it down to one of these, oops, sorry, it's loading here. There we go. Oh, got a little issue with that one. Devs, take note. Yeah, this was working earlier, but anyway, you can move it. It does work most of the time. So good call out, Carly. Another thing too, I had somebody asking about this, was just like being able to see this year over year view. So you can see here, like this is a monthly level total sales chart where I've got just like the year over year trend. So it's very nice to be able to see that just at a quick glance. But this setup is a little bit tricky if you're not familiar with it. So what you'll do is if you want it to have this full date range, like you're going to have to override the date range with that full range. So for me, it was all of last year through now is what I wanted to see. If you wanted to, and you had the historical data, you've been connected to AdLabs for a long time, you could go to 2024, beginning of 2024, and see all 3 lines on here as well. But you'd set the full date range for like that full period that you want to encompass. And then you'd come down to the time display options. And this is where the split date range comes into play. So if we don't have it split, it's not going to divide up the data points into these 2 separate lines. It's just going to chart it. It's going to be a month to month. It's just going to be like January through December. And then it's going to show January, February for this year, all on one chart. So it's not splitting it up and dividing it into 2 separate series. So in order to do that, you have to split it. And you can split it by year, quarter, month, and you can kind of customize that however you want. But it's going to completely update the chart and how aggregated it is essentially. So that's how you get those year over year trend charts where you can see like a ACOS year over year, total sales year over year, that type of stuff. It gets a little bit messy whenever you start really drilling down too far. Depending on what you're looking at. For this in particular, it doesn't look that great. So just split it by year, have the full date range selected or overridden in that actual widget, and then you're going to be able to see the year over year trends for whatever that metric is that you have charted there. And this is a single metric widget. So all of that lives within this widget selection as well. Cool. Going through some more here, month to date. Was there anything else that we needed to mention here? Okay, so on all of these tables, this is going to kind of be persistent throughout all of it because of how I had to set it up. Everything I set up in these tables, or like anything that's product specific, like these, this pie chart, this right here, all of it's grouped by parent ASIN. And so if you would like to have that be a little more customized, what you can do is come into the configuration settings of that chart, go to the group by section, and then you're going to have the ability to group by any of the Amazon fields that we have within AdLabs. But then if you have tags tagged up, this is developer platform, so I don't have anything tagged up in here. But if there were tags, they would also live here. You could click the tag that you wanted to group by, and then all of your data is going to kind of be aggregated based on that. And then I just wanted to mention too, I've gotten a lot of confusion around like what the entities are. So within the configuration settings, you have the controls to change what entity type that chart is going to be based on. The entities are just like little components, different elements within your account. So it's just like bulk sheets. You have different entities that you're making adjustments on. This is basically picking the level of reporting that you're trying to do. So if you choose the profile entity, you're not going to be able to drill down into like product level performance. You're not going to be able to see like campaign level performance or targets or search terms or anything like that. Like it's just going to be, everything's aggregated to overall profiles. It's kind of the total totals of that profile that you can kind of chart, analyze, that type of stuff. So if you want like the full totals of everything, make sure nothing gets left out, the profile totals are where you want to go. So any of these like high level scorecards, good for like profile level settings, unless you are trying to filter it down a little bit. And you can filter these down for whatever you want. Like if we wanted to actually have this be a specific product and just show the sales for a specific product, we could come in, set a filter on that actual scorecard for whatever it is that we were looking for, and then data would upload there. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. And kind of explain some of the entities. So you've got the profile level, the products level. This is where you can see like total ACOS by product, all of your individual SKU performance, all that type of stuff. So if you want a table like this. This is a product level table. So it's showing your products, the performance on those products. And you can see the entity type is product there. Now, if you wanted to create a view that's like, your campaigns, or you want to see like search terms or whatever, you just have to select the right entity, and then you can kind of build off of that and group things up and all of that. Also, in these summary tables, you have the controls to be able to limit what's actually shown. So in this one, I have like 40 parent ASINs. Maybe we just want to show like the top 10. So you can set up set this to be like your top 10 products year to date or something, maybe a little bit more digestible. And then you can change how it's sorting. We're going to have it sort by total sales, but just kind of make it a little bit shorter or longer, or, pretty much just control it however you want.
And
Carly,
quickly
anything?
on that,
Any questions coming in or anything?
No questions yet so far, but for those who are just joining now, don't forget to add your questions to the comments. We'll get to those all at the end. Feel free to ask specific questions. Like this is really more technical, right? So if you have technical questions on how to configure your dashboards in AdLabs, we'd love to see questions like that coming through. So put those in the comments. Don't be shy. Other thing I wanted to mention on what Andrew was talking about there, when just from my own experience, when you are limiting your widgets to say like 10 products, something like that, don't forget to update the title of your widget or like the little header there, because I've often had where clients are like, wait, what? This is incomplete, and it's like, well, no, actually intentionally, that's just the top 10, right? So make sure that you're updating. The goal is to always have the clients be able to answer their own questions from the dashboard. So don't forget to update those titles. Those aren't automatically updated when you change the metric in the widget. So that's really just text. So just a quick, disclaimer.
Good call out. And you can just like, if you're just going through here, you can just like double click on this and say like top 10 products, and you can just edit it in line like that. I'll undo that. And then also, just so you know, in the headings and the text and all the text boxes and stuff, you can format it however you want. Like if you want it to be bold, left aligned, you can make it bigger. You can kind of control what you want that to look like. Cool. Let's dig into it a little more. So next we have a product performance deep dive. This is basically just giving what you'd want to do here is just come in, set a tab level filter for your product or tag that you want to group by. So you come into edit filters, you'd set the product level tag, and then there's also some campaign level data in here. So you just set the corresponding campaign tag filter. Sorry, lost my train of thought. So if you have let's say you sell whey protein, you've got your product tag tagging all your whey products with whey. You've got your campaign tag tagging all your whey products with whey. Then you could just set that tag filter here, and then all of the data is just going to be on whey. And what this view does, just kind of breaks it down to where you have just a little bit of a couple different views of one single product, so you can just quickly understand the trends. So giving you a month to date versus last month versus last year, so you can kind of see current performance. Gives you a historical trend, some trend charts here to see spend, sales, total A costs, and then year to date total sales, an option for you to leave some notes here. And this is where some of those formatting options kind of come in handy. Is you can just leave bullets or bold certain things and all that. But good for just leaving notes on specific products. Like for example, like if I had a product that I was reporting on to a client a lot, and it was in its own separate tab, and maybe there's some specifics around that product, like what we're trying to do, what we're trying to not do. So like maybe we're trying to throttle the spend and just like improve efficiency or whatever. We have a total A cost target that we're kind of adhering to. So good to add a little bit of additional context. So that way, whenever the client's coming through looking at stuff, like they're reminded, oh yeah, that's right, this is why sales are down or whatever. We're pushing, maybe efficiencies a little bit worse than it usually is. So you can kind of leave some notes for yourself, for the client, just to keep tabs on things, or actually provide a talk track for your reporting. So and then just some campaign summary tables and things like that. The product collection performance, this would primarily be used, and what I use it for is new product launches, just keeping track of all of those new launches. So for this, I would just come in, set a tab level filter. I usually tag the products with like a new product or a new launch or some kind of tag or whatever. And then I set some profile level filters, product level filters, sorry, and apply those. And then all the charts would update to just show the data for those new items. So I can see kind of a trend for each item, see how sales are trending. You've got kind of a summary table breakdown. And then I didn't add this in here, but usually what I'll do after this is I'll have within this same report, I'll kind of come down here. I'll just add a couple charts here. So I would kind of break down, because it can be a little bit, I mean, just seeing one metric is fine. Like your total sales is insightful, whatever, great. Gives you a quick little view, but maybe you want to see some other stuff too. So you can come in, you would just pick which metrics you wanted to show. And we will do a product level entity. Maybe we want to look at spend, total ACoS, total sales by product. Pick an ASIN. Probably not gonna. Probably won't be one with a lot of data, but anyway, I create kind of a separate section for each of those new products within whatever I have here, and then configure some charts here that just show, like, this would be like product 1, and then I could see like spend, sales, total ACoS, and there's no data for this, but anyway, just kind of another way to break it down, so then I can get a little more context as I drill deeper. If I'm looking up here and I'm like, oh, like, total sales are picking up for this product, it's like, well, let's make sure our efficiency is also good and we're not like overspending or anything on that product. So you can kind of pop down here, just see like the last couple of weeks trend. I usually like to group this up by week, so kind of have a little bit better aggregation there, can kind of see the trends. And then I'll set like a date range override within this specific thing, and maybe just show like the last 90 days, so you get kind of a little bit more holistic view of that particular product, its trends, and everything like that. So just breaks it down a little bit further from there. The last week performance, pretty straightforward. It's just your last week over week, giving you kind of high level scorecards, all that. I have a couple different like charts over here to the side that are pretty similar to this. Like it's mostly the same. The only difference is these just show that percent change period over period, where I mean, you can hover and you can see the actual dollar change here, but I like just being able to have like a quick absolute change table, so I can just quickly reference it. And for one of my clients in a weekly report email, I just have like everything grouped up by tags. You've got the total sales for the period, total spend, total ACoS, and then the period over period. And I just like screenshot the top 5 products, and that's part of the email. So we kind of keep tabs on everything. So there's that for just another visual, another way to kind of see the absolute change just really quickly, rather than having to hover over every single row. Just have a separate view for it. The year over year view, pretty straightforward as well, very similar to the week over week. You'd obviously want to kind of build onto this and configure the tables to show tags rather than your parent ASINs. What else we got here? Month to date, total performance, month over month. So a month over month view for the current month. Got some different widgets I added in here just for, just if you're using it. We've got the gauge widget, which allows you to just kind of set a target. You could do this for total sales. You could do this for total ACoS, kind of have a gauge of like how you're pacing in this period towards whatever that goal is. So just some different options for you there. And then to make sure I used every single widget in this dashboard, I added a bar chart here. I don't use this too much, but it is nice for just showing like a quick period over period comparison. This is showing our top 5 products month over month by parent ASIN. So you can just see like total sales changes month over month. And each other view, it just kind of drills a little bit further down. If you're having issues like this, please let us know. You shouldn't be. We did just push this live this morning, so could be some technical difficulties going on, but just let us know if so. This also could be related to the fact that this account has no data. So that's what I got. Carly, anything to add here? Anything we should dive into that we haven't really covered, or any questions or specifics that are coming through from anybody?
Yeah, so I think that was pretty comprehensive. I mean, I think that everybody watching this should have a pretty good idea of how to configure things to be more customized for your specific use cases. And just remember, the template that Andrew's got here is intentionally built so that you can update it for your clients and their specific needs, right? So really get creative. Your imagination is really the limit with these custom dashboards. And yes, I do have some questions coming from the audience. So
right.
here, first one from Mohammed here. He said, do we need to link AdLabs dashboard to Seller Central, or do we upload reports into it? Or how does that work with linking for total sales information?
Good question. So everything is API connected. So if you're using AdLabs, you'll connect your ad profile and then you'll connect your Seller Central profile. That's going to allow you to blend everything together, see, total sales performance in relation to ad spend and all of that. So you do have to have that Seller Central connection. It's not like you download reports. That's kind of the beauty of it too. It's like you don't have to download reports anymore. It's all just API connected. If you ever want to create a view, you don't have to go to Amazon, download a report. You just come in here and create that view inside here in about 30 seconds. And you don't have to wait on the report download and upload and all this type of stuff. So it's all kind of a closed system. It's all API connected. It's always fresh every day. So it's always going to be updating and you don't have to worry about pulling any reports or anything like that.
Which is also really awesome from the client's perspective too, because then whenever they want to, they have that link, they can access it at any time and all that data is dynamically updating, right? So that's really great that you don't need to, that's just such a huge time saver. You don't have to go pull reports and upload them into a spreadsheet or whatever, or Looker or whatever. It's all good to go.
Yep.
Okay. Michael's got a few questions. Oh, sorry. Were you?
I was just gonna show one other thing. Number one, I just like to zoom out whenever I'm looking at this sometimes too. So it, just so I can see more. You can close these tabs. And then the other thing I was going to show, just for like agencies, or if you have multiple clients or you're a freelancer working with multiple clients and you want to create that same view across all of your accounts, you can just create it once and then you can come in and duplicate it and then change the profile that it's referencing. And you can then have that same report for another client and another client and another client. So it's scalable across a variety of accounts and it will be useful to be able to duplicate. But more questions. What you got?
Yeah, actually piggybacking on that. So Michael had a few questions here. I'm going to go newest to oldest for Michael here, but he actually had a question similar to that. He's got a good dashboard. He likes it. But he wants to duplicate it, but just change the parent ASIN. So how would that look? What would that process be like?
Yeah. So I would have to see kind of how it's set up currently. Like, did you configure every single individual widget with the parent ASIN filter, or did you just set like a tab level filter? If you have a dashboard that you really like and you want to have it just be for one parent ASIN, you would just want to make sure that like all the views that you have in there are based on a product level or whatever. So that way you can actually group by parent ASIN. There may be some like ad related stuff that maybe can't be grouped by parent ASIN. So, but if you all that aside, if you just want to quickly update a report to just look at a parent ASIN, you can set a tab level filter for a product, and you can set for the product parent ASIN. And then once you have that set, that's going to update the full chart to just look at that individual parent ASIN.
Yeah, it can be a little bit tricky though. I definitely know what you mean. Like if you have to update every single widget to be the product entity, right? But it's just kind of part of the deal.
Yeah, that happened to me too. So like whenever we initially launched the dashboards, we didn't have those tab level filters. It was kind of a request that we got from somebody. That was a great idea, whoever sent that in. But yeah, I was going through having to like I had all these set up where like every individual one of these scorecards was a year to date range override. So like I had to go back through and for this template, why it took so long is because I had to go do that. Yeah. I had to go through and like to take all those off, and like it was really annoying. So the tab level filter should be a good solution for that, where like just do it once, get it over with, and like or just rebuild the dashboard and set the tab level filters. But yeah, that's the way to do it, to be able to kind of replicate without having to go through all those like every individual configuration for every widget.
Definitely. Got a couple more from Michael. So this one is maybe more of a feature request. I think something that we'll maybe need to add to our to-do list, but is it possible to display price history, product conversion? That one I think we've got. And then sales in a chart. Like how would you sort of configure that? How to visualize that?
Pricing.
I think you could probably use AOV.
You could use like AOV or ASP or something like that to see kind of averages. But yeah, so you would say, I forget all the things you said, but
so AOV and then conversion rate and sales. How could we maybe get that all in one chart?
Yeah. So if we looked at just conversion rate, AOV, total sales, so we'd put those into a multi-metric chart. So there's one of the widgets is called a multi-metric chart. I'll show it here in a second. And then you can kind of configure how you want those to actually display, whether you want them to be lines or bars, and then obviously time grouping, dimensions, all of that. And then if you have any product specific filters or anything, you can add that. But yeah, we'll try that and see how that looks for us here. But that should basically give you what you're looking for the most part. I don't know that we have price, like actual price as a stored data point in the dashboards right now. I know we're pulling it because it's in the products overview, but yeah, I don't know that it's in the dashboards right now. But AOV is going to be pretty close to that, depending on what it is that you're looking at.
And then a kind of a second part to this question is offer strategies. So like if you're doing a lot of price changes and things like that, I think AOV would probably still get you there. If you're talking about coupon kind of related strategies, that's going to be more just something that you'll need to kind of know when you had those offers live kind of a thing by date. And then you should be able to track that, I think, unless there's a metric I don't know about.
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Another one from Michael. Is it possible to filter search terms at the product level? So if you wanted to let's say maybe you want to have a widget that shows like the top 10 search terms for a product.
That is coming. So one of the data sources that we need for that's not currently in here is one of the entity types. We need advertised product in order to be able to do that. Right now, we've got kind of like the total level product, but it doesn't allow us to drill down into ad products, which would allow us to filter for specific products within campaigns where we can see the search terms essentially. So I think that will be coming, or it's been discussed at some point. So right now, if you wanted to, if you have your campaigns kind of divided up and it's organized, you could definitely get to that outcome. You would you would want to change here. Let's just make a new table. So come in here. Whoops, wrong one. Summary table.
Yeah, I think that's what I did as a workaround, essentially just filtering campaign names by, contains this ASIN, because I have all my campaigns as single ASIN campaigns. And then you can see the search terms from there, basically.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, you got your search term level entity, because that's what you want to display. Your filters, you would want to set like a campaign level filter or a tag or whatever that shows, the campaigns that just have that product in it. And then your metrics, you can obviously show whatever you want, but the group by would be search term and search term string. And then you can show, your top 10, 20, whatever, based on spend. And yeah, that's how you do that.
For sure. Awesome. Okay, what else we got in here? Oh, we've got a question from Steven. Andrew, which widget or chart types do you think we should add to dashboards? Anything new that you want to see in here that you feel like you want to do but you can't do right now?
Yeah. I feel like you're setting me up, Steven. We were just talking about this the other day. Yeah, I want all kinds of chart options. That'd be great. But no, the main thing I would like to see is being able, like on this timetable view, being able to see like the previous period or like the year over year change, for example. Like if let's just say, let's reconfigure this so it's a little bit more how it would be in this scenario. So like you have your total sales here from left to right. Maybe there's like a last year percent change or dollar change or something like that, to where I can see, versus last year, how did that perform? Or, it'd be like this right here in a table. It'd be this chart in a table with a year over year change or something like that. So I can see just real quickly in a table, the performance. I don't know, that would be my thought there. And then like another example of that would be in this chart for historical performance. I had to break up, no, I think I might have deleted it. Anyway, to show like 2025 and 2026 kind of side by side, I had to do 2 timetables, and I just like put them on top of each other so I could just like quickly see. But that doesn't give you that change or anything. So.
Those are some good ideas. We definitely have a lot of feature requests kind of in the queue for dashboards, even little things like being able to change colors and different things like that. So
data sources is the big one, right? Like that's really what we're focused on next, is kind of like implementing more data sources. So that way, you know, if you're running DSP, like you can pull all your DSP data, give yourself an actual full holistic view of the entire account, ads, total, DSP, all that. So DSPs in the works, and that'll be in another data source that we end up integrating into dashboards. SQP data, going to be super important to have the ability to build custom views. I would love that. Just being able to see like search volume for different filterings and all that type of stuff in a single view would be great. And then what else? AMC, obviously. Those are kind of the big ones. And if we can build that into here and all that, that'll be super powerful. But yeah, that's the plan. In the works.
Okay, we've got a couple more questions I think that we have time for. So kind of related to what you were just talking about, but specifically asking, you know, what do you recommend as a first day of the week option? So we've actually had quite a few requests for the ability to switch between Monday or Sunday as the first day of the week in AdLabs in general. And so, yeah, we do plan to bring that out in.
That's actually in. So,
is it?
Yeah, I was the first one to bring it up, and
okay.
Yeah, created some drama. So if you come into edit you edit your dashboards here, you can actually change your first day of the week setting here from Sunday to Monday or vice versa. Recommendation on that, whatever your client looks at. I just have one client that for whatever reason looks at Monday to Sunday. It makes everything complicated and it's not consistent across the company. I don't know why. They just like, I want that last day of data. The meeting's on Tuesday, so they want so they want to see Monday's data too. So yeah, that's really up to you, your preference. I would say a lot of Amazon's reporting is Sunday to Saturday for the most part, I think, by default, like if you group by week or whatever. So if you want it to kind of be consistent with normal Amazon reporting, I think the Sunday to Saturday is typically what they use. Not everywhere. SQP is kind of weird too, but yeah.
Good tip. That's awesome. Okay. Another one from the same user here, EN, would be nice to be able to group by product display name. You can definitely do that in dashboards already.
Yep. So let's go on here. So if we're in here, configure, group by. Is it?
For vendor, this is I think most useful for like vendor accounts. If like when the that product data isn't being pulled in, I use it for that. I'm able to group by the product display name. You can just add it as I
just don't have any
a metric
added here. That's
yeah. But you can group by that, and you can also just add the product display name as a column, and then just sort by that if you want to, or what have you. So definitely can include product display name in there.
Awesome.
All right, what else we got? Travis. Hey, Travis. I don't know if this is possible, but I'm trying to show multiple optimization group performance for each month. Okay. So widget by optimization group and then month over month, essentially.
Month over month optimization group.
Yes.
I mean, one thing you could do is a table. That'd be probably like the easiest thing. I think I had one that was set up as an optimization group. Maybe not. It's probably one of the broken ones. Yeah, this doesn't have it. Dang it. There was one table I had in here. I think it was. Yeah, it was this one. Optimization group performance month to date versus previous month. So basically, it's just a table that is grouped by the optimization group that you have, and then the date range would just be month to date versus previous month, or you could override it at the tab level. It doesn't show like trends necessarily. You could do that with a single metric. So like on one of these charts, like you could drill this into a specific optimization group. Maybe there's like the top 5 that you want to see, your top 5 spenders or something. Yeah, that's going to give you like one metric to kind of see that would give you like 5 lines on this chart. You'd be able to see the month-to-month trends of spend on those optimization groups. But yeah, the one that I showed previously, this one should be configured for optimization groups. That might be what you're looking for. I'm not sure 100%, but that should show you or allow you to see every optimization group that you want month over month, all your metrics. Nice quick view.
Steven said that we would also need to clarify on that question if it's optimization groups 1 to 4 grouped or individually separated out. Like if you want to see summary by optimization group. Yeah. So it depends on what you're looking for there, Travis. Send us a message. We want to make sure we get that sorted for you. Yeah. Message us and we'll troubleshoot together. Make sure you, okay, send us a screenshot. Perfect. Okay.
Why is Steven just hanging out on the live stream and not
I know, right? Steven, what? Get on.
Doing, dude?
Okay, we've got time for a few more. One from Joe here. Budget tracking would be super cool. Yes. We budget tracking across AdLabs, right? A lot of people ask about whether or not they can see kind of budget pacing throughout the day. Obviously, that's just a limitation of what we're able to pull in via the API. We don't exactly have real time, data coming through AdLabs. It's synced every 24 hours, but I don't know if you have any other thoughts on that, Andrew.
No, that's just Amazon marketing stream limitation in terms of us not being connected to that yet. To be able to see like the time of day, campaign performance, budget, know when campaigns are going out of budget during the day. You can manage budgets and things like that right now, but I know it's something that's we're talking about and figuring out how to roll that out. But managing budgets, I usually set like a target spend pacing at the profile level for my monthly budget, kind of use that as a proxy for, how fast we're pacing. And then, as far as like extending budgets, knowing when stuff's running out of budget, it takes me like 30 seconds to hop into Amazon and look in the budgets tab and quickly run through it there and extend budgets where needed. But yeah, as far as like keeping things on pace, like I'm just kind of manipulating bids and stuff to increase, decrease pacing as needed from there. But yeah, budgeting, I mean, there'll be some stuff coming around that, but that's just a couple thoughts on that.
For sure. Another one from Joe, custom metrics coming to dashboards. Yes, I know that everybody, we have so many options and metrics available, but still there's custom ones that you want or that clients want. So also in the queue, but I know that people are excited about it.
Yeah, these things take time. We got a lot going on right now. There's a ton of stuff going on behind the scenes, guys. So we are trying to get as many feature requests added as fast as possible, and as well as add a bunch of new features that I think you're really going to like. So
we appreciate the feedback. Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, maybe last one here. One of my clients operates in 4 markets and has similar ASINs across those markets, like different country marketplaces, I'm assuming. Is it possible to look at performance on the ASIN level, but then broken down by marketplace within a widget or within a dashboard? That's kind of tricky.
No, you could do
profiles.
that.
You can do that? All right.
Yeah. So basically, you'd come into your dashboards, whatever profiles you want to add here, you'd want to add all of them to the dashboard. I'll just add the one for now, just for example. And I have some views where I do this, but what you would want to do is a view. Here you said a view by ASIN per market. So you have every profile added to this dashboard as a whole, but you could come in and you can override the profile selection of an individual table. So it's going to still have everything to where you can access it for all the charts and all the dashboards, but this chart in particular, we only want to focus on one of those markets. So you could override the profile and you would select the profile that you want to show here. You'd group by product, you'd group by ASIN or parent ASIN, or whatever you want to look at. And then choose your metrics. And then, that's going to show that. And then I would pretty much just go through here. And if you have like, this is US, like you could say like, just Amazon US or whatever. And then you would just take that, duplicate, change the profile, and then you've got your 4 different views for your 4 different markets where you have all the different ASIN performance broken down. And then maybe you want like a holistic view as well that just shows across the whole account or something. And maybe that's a separate tab or whatever. You can see like all your ASINs aggregated across all markets in one table. So then you have like a whole total view for everything.
For sure. Okay, sorry, I lied. Mohammed really wants us to answer his question, which is a good one. Profitability basically per ASIN. So right now that we don't have the ability to enter in like your COGS, or we're not pulling in Amazon's fees or anything like that to actually look at profitability. So probably the best, also in the works, right? We've got a long to-do list, as you guys can see. So at the moment, you're not able to actually see profitability as far as, actual contribution margin, that kind of thing. But what you can do is basically just know your contribution margin per ASIN and use, a target, an ACOS as a workaround there, kind of a thing. But we're not actually pulling in fees and things like that. So
we got a question from Anna. I want to make sure we hit here. So let me let me get that pulled up here. So let me just make sure, because I won't be able to come back to this. So it's the year-over-year trend chart. Okay. So what you would want to do, let's just make a new tab.
Oops, let's add you back there.
Oh my. Okay, there we go. Thank you. You're picking your chart here. You're going to do single metric trend chart. Date range, override date range. Go back as far as you want to go back. 20, whatever. Start of the month, whatever the start of the month is. And then you can do that. This just allows for a little lag. So you've got your date range. This is both years, basically. You need both years in there. And then you're going to go to your time display options. Well, you wanted total sales, so you'd want to change that. Go to your time display options, split the date range. So it's going to say split by month, and then it's going to, by day. You actually want to roll that split data by year. So if you split by year and then you apply, that should show you the year-over-year total sales trend chart. Try that. Let me know if that works for you. If you still have issues, just let us know.
Yeah, and you can always find us you can always send us a message too. Okay, awesome. Joe as, can you give us a sneak peek of the roadmap? So I just popped the roadmap link in the comments. So we do have that a public roadmap visible. So you can always take a look there. ETAs is tricky, but we have a long to-do list, and we really truly appreciate all the feedback and feature requests and everything. It definitely helps us to make AdLabs the best tool out there. Awesome.
That's right. Thanks for joining us, guys. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy Thursday afternoon just to hang out with us. If you have any questions, always, send them in the chat. And we'll be back next month. We're going to keep doing these, going through different aspects. So if you have topics, ideas for things you want us to dig into, feel free to let us know. Anything else?
Awesome. Joe said it's already the best tool, which I think is a good note to end on. So appreciate it, Joe. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you in the next one.
All right. Peace out.